Hey, Danny here. Hey, welcome to my garage. Well, we're back on this 07. I'm going to call it the red Nitro. And hers is going to be gold Nitro. Well, I'm back under here. I'm going to try and get this selector, transmission selector to move. It's been soaking for about 2 days now. This is looks like it's stopped leaking transmission fluid now. It's about 2 or 3 quarts. Well, it's going to get new fluid in it. So let's see if I can get that to move back and forth now. Let's go. All right. Well, after freaking about an hour messing with that, I finally got it to go forward and backwards. It's pushing all the way forward. You're actually putting it in first gear, second gear. All the way back is actually park. So what I want to have to do is spray it with a breaker over here, and then use the long pry bar to push on one end, actually banging it with a hammer, and on up this side using the small pry bar to push it back in the opposite direction. Pain in the butt. And unfortunately, I have a transmission leak up here, and I had to get it into messing around with it, trying to get it into neutral so I could get it to start. And of course, the battery didn't help me in it because it was dead. So that's where we're at. Okay, after another 45 minutes of messing around with that, you can see the arm where I got it right now, all the way forward to the front of the vehicle is 1. Okay, it's automatic, and all the way. It's pain in the butt right here. Alright, that's your arm. Now, your cable. My hand on the cable. The cable is right here. Okay? So you can see how far forward it is right here. Okay? So that's 1, 2, and 3. Right now, this is supposed to be in neutral, or in park. It's way back here. Okay? So I've been playing with it and playing with it and playing with it. Finally getting it to go forward and backwards. If you let it sit for a long period of time, guess what? It's gonna. All of a sudden you come out and you can't get it to go into gear. So let me show you. I'll slide it all the way back. Alright, now I slid it all the way back. It's leaking on me. Gotta fix that now. And now you take the cable, my thumb out of the way so you can see the cable is all the way back and lined up. Alright, then we'll go up top. No, I damaged that one. I damaged the I damaged it. And I was prying under here. So now I need to see how it's broke right as it goes in. It's got a connector right here. So, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to buy the whole freaking line. It goes all the way up into the part of the radiator. So I'm gonna have to buy the whole darn thing and then take that piece off, I think, because you can't buy it separately. I had to replace this on her gold one when I was doing the engines. All right, we're inside now. Hopefully, I hear it. All right, here we go. Let's watch. We got reverse. We're rolling. There's neutral. There's drive. All right, we got down to 2. I think there's a 1 in there somewhere. Okay. Neutral. Reverse. Now if you get a park. Come on! I lost my release. Battery's absolutely dead. Fortunately, I still got it in reverse. Couple more times. Alright, we're after working at that. I'm now finally got this so it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, what I did is I changed out batteries. This happens to be a die-hard silver, and it's a freaking deep cell. So I'll just put this in here. See if it was actually a battery issue. So we're messing with that right now. Okay, I'm gonna do it right now because I don't like the way the alternator sounds. So I'm swapping that out with the one on the gold nitro. Like I said, it's gonna be pretty robbed. I'm gonna do that, and I gotta get the tensioner down there is frozen too, so it's not. Gonna do that from the other one as well. This one here, taking the alternator off. You got a 16. Both of these bolts. This is the long one, goes down here. This is the next one, which also 16. Goes up here. And you've got another one, which is a, what do we figure, 12? I figured it was a 12. It's on my gun. Yeah, it's 13. Alright, so then you gotta pry it. Pry it up because you got a sleeve right here that pushes in and locks down on it. Okay, and then just rock it forward in this direction here, and it'll come out. Okay, we got the other one on here now. Again, you just get your long bolt, goes on this side. Your shorter 16 goes on this side, and then you get your 13 bolt right here. This one here is a 13 as well. Use that as with a ratchet. Okay, you get do that one there with a ratchet wrench that lines up. One piece over here lines up with that, and you got your cover going that locked down, covered up. All right, next thing I need to do, I got to figure out what's going on there with that tensioner. I have to steal it off of the other one. Okay, again, I'm back to working on trying to get that belt back on here, and I can't get that to move. It shouldn't take anything. It's the spring. It didn't take anything to let go, because that's what it's doing. It's tensioning. So the belt gets loose, it just tightens up. But we're not getting anywhere right now. All right, we're gonna end it for tonight. I've sprayed some breaker on that again. I'm using my long adapter on there to see if I can get it to let go. All I'm doing is tightening up the nut on the pulleys. So you see it's dusting up pretty good. Alright, water pump's okay. And that sounds pretty good. So we're gonna have to swap that out tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it, because this nut here is what's gonna release it. Yeah. Is built into that. It said built into that. All right, we're back. Well, in that last video I showed you that the tensioner on this was seized. So what you got to do is you got to go in and get that nut. I was sweating. I was afraid it was gonna slip and strip the head off of it, but it went on there. That's a 13. So what's happening now? I was able to break it, but I had to use the 1/2 inch ratchet on it because I couldn't get enough strength on it to do that, and I was waiting for it to strip out on me. But it didn't. It held in there. We're good. So I'm gonna get the other one off of the other nitro. So we're robbing Peter to pay Paul here. So this is what it looks like once it's taken off. It's just it's a whole unit, all right, and held on by a bolt. And you got this little indention. That little indention goes over that nut, all right, and that's how it keeps its. You can see the corrosion in there because this is all aluminum, and it exfoliates. So it goes over that, and you tighten it down, and that's it. Okay. On the next one, double check your pulleys, make sure they rotate smooth, and we'll be good to go. What I did yesterday is I changed out the alternator on this. Everything seems to be spinning fine. That might be questionable. I don't know. Maybe I can get the AC on this thing working too. I don't know. All right, so that's taking care of the belt tensioner on this 3.7 liter or this 07 Dodge Nitro, and this one is the red one. Okay, just do the reverse installation. Try not to cross thread that nut or that bolt going in there. Make sure you got that lined up with that nut so it don't spin. Well, it's going to be off. It's going to be crooked if you haven't got it in there right. Okay, now that I've gotten the tensioner back on there, I'm back underneath because I wanted to find out what size peanuts I was going to need to get these lines loose. I'm not going to be able to. I pulled that one there, which is that there, and it is I didn't use a metric on that. I use a standard, and it's a 15/16 if you're looking to pull that. All right, because there's the broken line coming out of that. I think I broke it while I was trying to get that selector to release. And then you're going to go on this side, and it's going to go into this bottom little block. Well, when you order, if you can't order individual lines, you got to order that whole assembly, and that goes up on top a little ways, and then this one goes in here. Okay, the other one's going forward and going into the bottom of your radiator, because your radiator cools your transmission fluid. So there's no way to get just individual lines. I'm looking at going to Wilbert's to get that, but the only problem is you've got this front drive shaft is in the way. Might find somebody that's already removed it, and then get up in there. Okay. So you need a 15/16 wrench. See if you can rotate that out. This does have a spring clip mechanism on it. If you happen to find one, I'm hoping I find one that somebody just changed out. In fact, I just changed the one on hers, so I may be doing that. I may be stealing that line from there. But anyway, that's how you do that. All right, we're now back. Let's go ahead and get the serpentine belt back on here. Then we're going to go do the drive shaft. Okay, our routing, I actually leave one on here, because you're not going to find one. You don't find one anywhere on the vehicle. So, there's your routing. Start with the bottom of your crankcase, go up over your power steering pump, up over your alternator, back down around your water pump, back up over your AC compressor, back around, now that is your tensioner pulley. So go around the top of the tensioner pulley, back around to the other pulley, which has got no grooves in it, and then it goes back down around your crank. So usually I find it's easier to just go ahead and get your tensioner pulley completely released, and then just slide it over that lower pulley that's got no teeth on it. And as you can see, live version down around the crank, back up over the power steering, up over the alternator, back down around your water pump, back up over your AC compressor, and then now we're dealing with our tensioner. Now make sure you got your belt on the other side of your tensioner arm, or you won't get it around that. Alright, I've found the best way to do this is go ahead and get it on your tensioner pulleys and leave the water pump undone. So then once you pull it tight, you'll be able to slide it. This is a brand new belt. I had to change from the gold one because it broke. So here we are, just all new here. So what you do is you just pull your tensioner really tight, okay? You've already got it over those two pulleys, so you don't have to deal with it. Okay, trying to get down here and get on that is real difficult. So just line it up with your water pump pulley, slide it on, just pull it across on the other side and slide it on. There we go. That's how you install your serpentine belt. Keep in mind, when you go to the store to get these, they're going to ask you, which length do you want? This one here wound up being the longest one, not the shorter one. So it was like an inch difference in length. So keep that in mind when you're changing it. That's that. You can also use a long ratchet. You don't need the the adapter here. But that is I believe that's a 15 socket there. Goes on that. There we go. Alright, onward. We're going to go do the drive shaft. Oh, just a quick back up. You see that the reservoir is missing from here. You will have to remove that before you go doing that. Alright, we're back. Let's go ahead and get this drive shaft installed. I was going down to Wilbert's today, but I'm not. It's too close. I'll be down there for 2 or 3 hours. I won't get back in time to open my store. So we're going to go and put the drive shaft on. That'll be quick. Now I got to work on trying to remove the front drive shaft, because we're going to be dropping that front transaxle off of here. It's going to be driving around two-wheel drive until I can pull the other one off of the gold one. As you can see, I bought it with a broken front drive axle, and I knew the drive shaft was broke, but I didn't realize the hanger mount for it was broke. It's cast aluminum. Cast aluminum. There's no way to re-weld that or repair it. It's got to be replaced. Now the reason I dropped the drive shaft is because I couldn't get it into neutral. And as you saw in that last video there, it took me about 3 hours to get that thing to break loose. 3 hours, 2 days. Because I lubed it and lubed it and lubed it and lubed it. Kept that breaker on it. Finally was I able to get that to let go. Now when I pulled the drive shaft, unfortunately I didn't have enough time to mark it. I was on the side of the road dragging a wheel. So, not a good thing. So maybe I can find matching alignments coming off of that to do that. But make sure, in your case when you're doing it, make sure you mark where those came from and how they came off. Okay, and when you go install the drive shaft, you can only go one way as far as the length. Okay, you see this section here, and you got the end of the bolt there. So you're going to go install your drive shaft. See how you got a wide section here? On the other side you got a small section. Okay, so that one will go inside that bolt like so. Now maybe I can find something here I can line stuff up with. You got these little things here, maybe some tattletale things. Stay from. Okay, there's a tattletale. See the blue? And see the blue? So we got that. Alright, now, alright, doing the rear here, we might have some tattletales here in a second too. What we're probably going to have to do, I'm going to have to jack up this wheel here so I can spin that to mate with the shaft, because that will not move. So you're going to be matching this to the drive shaft and not that. So what I've come up with is, as you look down on it, you see the amount of silver that is being seen. Okay, a silver that is exposed here. So I'm matching basically the silver up, and I got to match this exposed area to the area that's being covered over. So, all right, there we are. We now have a drive shaft installed, front and back. I remarked them, or at least I marked them. All right, now again for this scenario here, I got to go up in there and pop those loose and get that drive shaft out of there. You're driving around with that drive shaft on there, but we're going to go ahead and get and then I'm going to tear that down, jack it up, and drop that drive shaft. That's not going to be fun. Okay. Now remember, you'll have to jack up your driver's side wheel to get that to rotate to match up, because again, you're not going to be able to rotate that. Alright, drive shaft's complete and torqued. Book says 80 foot-pounds, so double check. Don't rely on my word. So there we are. Next is doing something with this front drive shaft. And then as soon as I get the new transmission cooling line in, I can do that. And I've lost about probably four quarts of transmission fluid out of this. So she's getting a brand new, new fluid, and I might as well, while I'm here, I might as well drop the pan and give it a new filter. Oh, and that's going to be a pain refilling that. Alright, there we are. Stay tuned. Alright, I don't know where I dropped you at, but I have an O2 sensor high. And as I was talking, and I'm probably talking to myself, I had to make sure that that code was not coming from the gold nitro, and it was actually part of this. So I got online to find out where the codes are stored for the engines, and they're stored in the ECM, which is a good thing. So this is stored in the ECM of this vehicle. I changed out to tip them. So that's telling me that it's part of this vehicle and not the gold one. I've just changed this O2 sensor in the gold one, because this is the code that I got before I was getting ready to inspect it. And when I had to back out of the driveway, the reverse, there was no more in reverse. It'll go forward, but it won't go in reverse. So I found this Nitro up the road. And of course now it's got all kinds of little issues, and that's what you're watching right now, is me rebuilding this chitty chitty bang bang. Alright, so that's where I'm at right now. You can see everything is clear. Yesterday I was confused because all the codes were going out, and I kept thinking that, oh man, what's going on here? Why? And I was trying to start it. It wouldn't start. Well, the problem was it was not in park. So now you should be able to hear this. I spent like 3 hours trying to get that selector to release, so I can hear this now. I'm going to go into reverse, and now I can go to neutral, and now I can go to drive, and I can even go down to 2. But it took a while. This thing set up for about 3 months outside without him driving it, and that selector, I can play with that, make sure it goes in the park. And it took all that with, oh man, I forgot to get some blaster while I was at Walmart today. Dadgummit, I'm all out. So anyway, it now goes into gear, out of gear. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with it because there's no transmission fluid in it. Alright, stay tuned. I gotta go swap these O2 sensors out. Okay, welcome back. This is what we're gonna do here. I can't get those stupid bolts loose. I'm gonna have to use my grinder and grind them things off if I go to pull that drive shaft. But I got thinking about it. If the drive shaft is disconnected, it's not going to rotate, okay? Because it's disconnected, it's interlocked into the transaxle. So when you select four-wheel drive, this solenoid kicks in. So when that kicks in, it locks in that drive shaft, okay? In the meantime, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It doesn't spin. Well, take that back. It spins because of your front wheels, okay? As I turn this, you can see as I manipulate this, I'm manipulating this, okay? So I've got to remove this front drive axle, all right? What I'm doing right now is doing that. So I'm pulling this. I just popped it, so it should slide out here. There it goes. I just drained it through that. It drained out all the oil in that. And now I've got the thing under here, so. All right, so I'm yanking that. I'm going to yank that off. And then what I'm going to do is I have 1, 2, 3 bolts that hold the front of this to this front shaft. Some bright idea was to put this the bolt through this side. There's no way to get that bolt out without freaking dropping the freaking swing arm. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to take it from here, pull those 2 bolts there, and then we're going to pull the back bolts. There's 2 back bolts here, and I should be able to pull that and drop it down. And when I do that, I'm going to let this go, because it should, after I pull this, slide over here and clear that. We're going to find out. And then what I'll be able to do is bust the nut loose on that shaft and then pull that through. This one here is sheared off. as you can see. So between the two, I think I can get this out of here. We're going to see. So this is still a continuation of repairing this red 07 Dodge Nitro. Okay. I just decided to put this in because I'm going to leave this drive shaft right here. I'm just going to hold it up somehow. And then once I get the new front drive axle put in, then it'll get hooked back up. But as long as she don't select four-wheel drive, that's just going to sit idle, because that would spin with this wheel spinning. It would be going through your front axle and then turning all the time. But with that disconnected and it's just two-wheel drive at this point, don't have that problem. All right, so that's said, I'll go back up and drop this down, and we'll see if that O2 sensor clears. But I'm going to be robbing all the new O2s out of the gold one, because I've just changed them all because of the O2 situation I was trying to clear up to get it to inspect, and finally cleared. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it in reverse, so that's why I'm doing this. So I went to try and slide that drive shaft out, and it won't go because it is stuck on that pickle of the strut. Fortunately, I guess we're going to have the same scenario. I'm not going to be able to get that drive shaft through that strut. Terrific. All right, let's see if this clears. Okay. All right, we're back. We're going to turn the key here. We got full. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got the heater circuit. Now when I go to reset it, if it comes back, then we got another problem. As you can see. All right, let's go ahead and reset it and see what it does. Oh boy. There we go. Now if that didn't fix it, why do I still have to check engine light? Oh, probably because the engine's not running. Alright. Well, what's our emissions? This gonna come back? No, it's not locked in there. Yeah. So at this point we're good. I can't start it up because it'll be blowing what's left of the transmission fluid out of it. So alright, so looks like we're good to go for right now. We'll keep you up to date as I continue to fix this 07 Dodge Nitro in red.